He knows that someone he knows it, and that someone used his code. So he knows that it's really, really, really wrong. Are you gonna talk? It was close. You're continuing? It means you need to hurry, but still they are not talking. Are we gonna really spend all of this episode without talking? What? You're gonna hack something else? Are you not hearing them typing on the computer? It came back. Ooh, that's clever. No lights anymore, but the light of your screen. The Die Hard reference was really great. The music and all of that. Breathe, darling. Breathe. He's not hearing you typing on that computer. He's not seeing the light. I mean, when my computer is on, my lights are off, we can really see it for a long distance. Still not talking and still just about sounds. Still not talking, he's not even screaming. That shot, that angle of camera, it's so great. They are taking so much risk during this final season to do an episode like that. I mean, it's a risk to make an episode without anyone saying anything. And the musics are so good. They are speaking for them. He saw your face. What now? Idiot! He's sacrificing himself for Darlene. They're not gonna follow Darlene, maybe? Maybe she's safe, but look! What now? Alvin and the chipmunk. Elliot, do you really think that you can... Oh, that's a Christmas movie thing, you know. He's going into Central Park. That's a Die Hard reference also, you know. So Die Hard. Darlene. The other guy from the security is not gonna recognize her? What are you gonna do? I'm laughing because it's such a thing about a Christmas movie, you know, like Maman j'ai raté l'avion or Die Hard or stuff like that. Still, no one never said a word since the beginning of this episode. Oh, fuck, they're still there. What are you gonna do, idiot? Yes! Take that bus. It worked? And it worked for you also? I need to breathe now. I think that now I can breathe normally. It really worked for both of you? What? They are really putting all of the cliches about Christmas, about Christmas movies and stuff like that into that episode. What are you gonna do now, idiot? They have a car now to chase you. They are letting the car behind. They are stupid. Oh, okay, new cars. You can't run forever? You're not Forrest Gump? Idiot! Idiot! We need you! You're not going to jail again. It's like Bruce Willis. You're not dead. No, nothing can stop you. Bruce Willis, move. Bruce Willis, stop. No one can stop you. Go for it. You have no choice. I'm ready for that. I don't know. What? You're gonna jump on what? On what? Come on. You, Bruce Willis. Nothing can stop you. Please. Darling. I love you so much. Both of you. Someone is gonna tell something. Please, talk. I know, they don't need to talk. They are brothers and sisters. They understand each other just like that. But I want them to talk. It's beginning to disturb me. But I really think that we're gonna have no words during this episode. Maybe one, but just at the end. Okay, it's for the meeting, the Deus meeting. Still not talking. Are you gonna say something? That pattern, is it something? Is it a clue or something like that? Oh! She knows them. She appreciated Darlene. Il est où le petit chaperon rouge? Just across the street. Nice. Hello, you.
It's time we talk.
I said it! I said it. I said that the first words that we were really gonna have during this episode were gonna be at the end of the episode. And it's what? The only sentence that someone said during this episode was, we need to talk. They didn't talk during the entire episode. That's so great! That's so great! That's so interesting to have an episode like that, to have a silent episode like that. No one is talking, but still stuff are happening, and a lot of stuff, a lot of actions, and it's still interesting, and we are still involved into it, and we are still like that into it because of the music, because of the actors and actresses who are so great, because of, you know, the way of filming. It's so interesting, all of the details that they are putting when they are filming the show. And yes, it's so well written that we don't need them to talk. It's logical, all is logical, and all is happening, and ow! We don't need them to talk, to be fully with them, to be with them in action, in tension with them. And it's even better, you know, to not have anyone talking, because we are not used to that, so we are, you know, focusing on them. We are really focused on them because we are not used to that in other shows and movies. We are not used to have no one talking. So even if we are not paying attention to it, you know, even if we are not saying it each time like I said it during all of the episode, like they're not talking. I know that I said it a lot. I think that I'm gonna count them during the editing. I said it a lot, but even if I didn't say it, even if I didn't notice it maybe at first, it would have put me in that situation of tension because our mind, our way of seeing movies and shows, we are not used to it. So even if we are not noticing it at first, even if it's still working with the music, with the actions, with the message, on telephones and stuff like that, we are still in tension because we know that something is wrong, we know that something is not happening like usually, we know that something important is happening because it's not like usually. Even if we are not noticing it at first, that something is the fact that they are not talking, we are in tension like that. It's so interesting to have an episode like that and to do an episode like that for the final season of your show. You are taking a risk right there. To do an episode like that in your final season, it's not like if it was in a season, of any other show, it would be a challenge, a challenge to accomplish. It would be funny, it would be an inside joke for the fans, the mute episode. But to do that in your final season, it's really like you are saying it directly to the viewers. We are choosing to take risk during this season. We don't care about anything during this season. We don't have anything to lose and we are ready to do everything to surprise you each time and to take risk. Killing Angela during the first episode, that was a big risk. Killing Tyrell like that in a fairy tale Mr. Scrooge episode, Halloween episode in a Christmas season and all of that, that was a big risk also. And yes, to have an episode like that, a mute episode with no one talking, with just the music, just the actions, a lot of stuff are happening, and just the actors and actresses doing an amazing job, and also a lot of references to movies, to shows. Like I saw the references for Die Hard, obviously, but I think also for Maman j'ai raté l'avion. I don't know the title, the movie's title in English for that. I'm gonna put it in subtitles. And I think that all, was a reference to movies, to shows about Christmas. That was so great! I'm really admiring this season so far because they are really taking so much risk in the way of writing the show, and I find all of the ways of writing the show, for each episode, but also for the storylines about this season, and also for the characters, for the evolutions of the characters. I think that it's the best season after the season 1. This season 4 so far is the best season after the season 1. It's really, the season 1 was really great because it was something new, and when it was out, on screen, we were really not expecting to have a show like that, so it was a great and big surprise. So I'm really putting the season 1 really this high. But really, this season 4 is so great and it's so well written. I'm amazed by, yes, the way that they are writing the storylines and the evolutions for the characters. I'm saying it since the beginning, but also the way of writing each episode with a mood, with a theme, with really something, a way of writing it. And it's interesting, to watch a show which is taking a risk in the way of writing it. And for the final season, you have really big balls. To do something like that, you have really big balls, you have really you are going for it, you are doing it, and you are really I don't care, I'm doing it, I'm writing it, I'm taking risk. I love that so much. I think that you can see it. I love that when writers are taking risk and when they are surprising the viewers, but in a good way, and it's clever, really, the way of writing the characters and the storylines It's clever because it's challenging the viewers to understand it, to make series with it, and it's also challenging the writers, it's also challenging them with new ways of writing the show, with new mood, new environment, new stuff. It's so great and so clever. I'm really admiring the way that they are writing the show. I mean, I love the characters and I love what is happening on the show. I mean, I love the story about the show. I love the fact that they are questioning our society. But that, they are doing that in the beginning. They are doing that since the beginning of Mr. Robot. So I'm not as surprised about the message of the show than I was surprised during the first season. No. Now they are surprising me not because of their message, which is still and always great. They are surprising me because they are making evolutions for characters in a clever way, because they are following their storyline and they are really taking all of the steps that they need to take to build that storyline, and that's interesting. And because they are taking risk by writing an episode like that, another episode like that, with a mood, with another mood. I know, and maybe also I can understand why maybe some fans are gonna be disturbed by the last episode and this one, because there were really particular ones with really a mood, for each one. We can see that really the two last episodes were really something, and maybe it's a lot to handle for some fans, or at least it's not what they are expecting when they are watching an episode of Mr. Robot, and I can understand that, but me personally, I love that. I appreciate that because it's really showing all the qualities of the writers, It's really the writers who are just having fun. They are just having fun. Like writing episodes like that, it's just them having fun with their characters and their stories, and it's great to see that, to see writers and producers having fun with episodes like that. And in the final season, I'm repeating it, in the final season, it's not just a challenge, it's really a big risk, and I love that. I really appreciated it. I don't know if I'm preferring maybe the last episode. Maybe I preferred the last episode than this one, but I'm still finding the two of them really interesting because of the way that they wrote it. Tell me what you are thinking about it. Tell me, when did you notice that they were not talking? Tell me, when did you notice it at first, the fact that they are not talking, in fact. Me, I'm gonna watch it during the editing. The first, they are not talking, I'm gonna put it, because really, I don't know, maybe after 10 minutes I began to notice it. I don't know, I will see that. But tell me you, during what scene, during what moment did you understand it? Okay, it was a great episode. I'm really, loving this season. So far, I think that it's the second best season of the show. I know that we have only 4 seasons for Mr. Robot, but I'm really putting the season 1 really high. But this one is in second place, but really close to the first one. For different reasons, but still. Stop, I'm gonna stop right there. Really, I loved this episode. Okay, it's all for Mr. Robot for today, and it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye!
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Great.